You know, last week we embarked on a journey, and we heard about the story of Abraham, where we see him saying yes to God, and ultimately, being honest with you, I don't know why you're here, and I don't know if you know that anybody knows why you're here. But the fact of the matter is that Abraham found himself in a place where he had to say yes to God. He had to say yes to the risk of following him, and also he had to say yes to the journey. And if you were here last week, we all had the opportunity to say yes. But I'm here today because maybe you weren't here last week. Or maybe you were here last week, but you didn't make that decision. So we want to open that space up again and say, hey, look, a life of influence starts with a yes to God. And I want to be even more honest with you. Maybe you did say yes, and you're like me, and you're on this journey. I was reading this week on the prophet Elijah, and later on in his career, he finds himself running away, and he goes into a cave and he hides. And it's in that moment that God meets him there. And God asks him the question, what are you doing here, Elijah? And I feel like that's a question that God could be asking you today. What are you doing here? Not what are you doing at Pure, not physically, but what are you doing in the place that you are today? Why have you run away? Why have you ran from the yes? Why have you turned away? And it was in this moment that Elijah was reminded by God what his calling was. Now, I remember being 18 years old, and I had failed so bad. I was bad, and I was broken, and I questioned my faith, and I questioned God, and I said, God, why did you bring me here? Why? It was at that time that my mom had a miscarriage, and I questioned him, and I said, look, God, I said yes to you, and this is what happens. Why? And that Erick that was standing there and questioned God was met by the Lord, not in a song, not by someone preaching at me, but it was in the silence that I felt the peace of God tell me, I am with you. And I'm here to tell you today, if that's you, if you're questioning God, or maybe you've ran away because you're afraid, or because of guilt, or because of shame, I'm here to tell you today that the same God that met Abraham and gave him the promise, the same God that met Elijah and made him and restored him and pushed him back out, the same God that sent Jesus, the same God that gave his life for you and for me, is the same God that is here today. And maybe that's just a reminder for you, or maybe that's the first time you're hearing it, but today is the day where you get a chance to say, yes, God. If that's you, there are people to my left and to my right. If there's this stirring in your heart and you're saying, you know what, that's it. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of the shame. I'm tired of the guilt. If that is you today, as we continue with worship, we want to open this place up so that we could pray for you, we could walk with you, so that you could know, A, you're not alone, B, God is with you, and he will be with you to the end of time, as he's promised. If that's you, I want us all to close our eyes. We're going to continue singing. But God doesn't give himself to us in pieces. He didn't say, I'll give you this, and I'll take it back if you're bad. Or I'll give you this, but if you turn away from me, I'll take it back. That's not the God that we serve. The God that we serve says, hey, I gave myself to you because even though, as Paul puts it, even though I was in the dirtiest of sins, Christ gave his life for me, and he gave it for you. And today we have that opportunity to keep walking with God. Father, I thank you for this time. I pray that as we continue, Lord, that yes would become so evident in our hearts. Lord, I pray that we would respond to that still voice that tells us to go. Lord, I thank you for this time.